forces with me. I'm one to force the forces with me. So be it, Jedi.
Welcome. It is Thursday night, and welcome to the GNN Cantina Happy Hour, where the drinks are smooth and frosty. My name's David. I am your host. We're going to spend this hour talking about Star Wars, and nothing but Star Wars. But before we do, with me as always is Debbie. How are you, Debbie?
I'm good. Glad it's Thursday. I only got 2 hours sleep last night because I got stuck out in the street.
In the snow?
Had to shovel the driveway.
Yeah,
from all the snow we got.
We got a whole bunch of snow too. It was like a quarter of an inch maybe, and it was gone by the next day.
Yeah, we got about 8 or 9.
I mean, like I got up and I went to work in the morning and it was gone. So
yeah, we got 8 or 9. The county closed down all non-essential or non-emergency offices, so we were out of there at 12:30, but it still took me forever to get home, and I only live across town, so yeah, fun times.
See, if you lived across town and you were in my neck of the woods in the Dallas area, across town's like an hour drive.
Oh,
so,
no.
Yeah, just saying.
It's like a 10-15 minute drive normally, but it took me a lot longer, and then when I tried to pull into my driveway, it has a little bit of a slope, and I only got halfway up, and then I tried to back out, and when I got out in the street to try and get some more momentum, I got stuck. I had to call my son and, hey, come out, you gotta shovel me out. I'm in the middle of the street.
Oh, and was he a
wonderful?
Was he a good son and did that for you? Oh.
He did, and then we were trying to shovel at least part of the driveway so I could get up to the driveway, and there's an older man who lives on the very corner, and we heard the snowblower going. Well, I thought he was doing his driveway, but he came down the sidewalk and he did our driveway.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm like, thank you.
Appreciate that.
Also, you're my son now.
Also with us tonight is Cam. Cam is not in focus tonight, but he's driving his car.
Yes,
he will be around. How are you, Cam?
Coming at you guys live from the front seat of my automobile.
Cam happens to catch us most Thursday nights when he's driving home. So
not most Thursday nights. I'd say maybe it's a good I don't know, 15%. But okay. Yeah, I ended up having to work. One of the other nurses I work with went to a basketball game in Georgia, and so he asked me to work for him today. I was like, well, overtime, that sounds nice.
I'm not going to argue with it. Well, we just had another episode of The Bad Batch.
Is right.
I again was not another filler episode, in my opinion. This was not an arc or anything. This was a very self-contained story and just something to have them do. No real character development or anything like that I noticed. It was just, they were just, speaking of which, we're going to be talking about spoilers. So if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it first and then come back and watch our replay. So,
well, I'll see myself out then.
I thought it was like you said, it wasn't anything massively important, but I thought it was a fun episode. When it got about halfway through, all I could think of was, this is like a combo of Indiana Jones, Goonies, and War of the Worlds.
I'm glad you said that because I was watching it with Luke, and I don't know, it was probably about halfway through. I said, "This is Raiders of the Lost Ark." They're remaking Raiders of the Lost Ark. He's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "If they get chased by a big boulder, I'm gonna be mad."
Even some of the music was
Very Indiana Jones like.
Yeah, it was, and I listen to soundtracks all day at work on my Pandora. That's all I listen to, and it's usually mostly all John Williams. But yeah, I could have sworn there were some little tidbits of Indiana Jones music in there.
I'm gonna call it and say that's probably true because I thought the same thing. I was watching a bunch of it and I was just like, "Oh, is that the music from Raiders when he's walking through and he's doing the Staff of Ra thing? It's awful close, not quite though. It's awful close." But yeah, it was just again, I was looking at it. I mean, when did Hunter get so dark and brooding too?
I think he was just mostly annoyed.
Yeah, he seemed kind of put off by everything, but I mean, yeah, he's always been a little bit on the broody side, but I mean, this episode he went full. I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
And maybe he's getting tired of these side quests because that seems to be all that they do.
That honestly, I was thinking that too because I was watching it and I was like, okay, yeah, it's self-contained. It's just a little story within the story, and I'm like, this is like one of the side quests in a video game that really has no. You don't need it to complete the game, but if you're going for completion and you want to do 100% of the game, you need to do this dumb little side quest.
And see, that's exactly what I was thinking too. At the end of the episode, when Fee is telling them about this other treasure that she wants to go after, I'm like, no.
But what happens if they go after it next week? It's all of a sudden it's become an arc.
Oh my! Oh. See, at first I was kind of annoyed that it's another one of those they solved the puzzle by looking through things. We didn't get enough of that with the rise of Goonies, but I mean the objects that they went through so much hardship to find, the heart of the mountain, it melted away, and I'm thinking to myself, oh well, okay, well this is something that's gonna help them out in later episodes, but nope, it's gone. So
and so they kept saying the heart of the mountain, and I swear I was gonna lose my cool if one of them had said, "Well, we're going after what, the heart of the mountain?" Yes, it's called the Arkenstone. I would have been like, no, bad. That's a Lord of the Rings reference there, Debbie. It's a Hobbit thing. It's the Arkenstone. No, bad Star Wars stealing from Lord of the Rings. How dare you?
Well, and I don't play video games. I mean, my kids do. I don't because I'm not very good at it, and I'm always embarrassed when I try to play video games. But I've seen a lot of TikTokers today saying that the mech, I guess the big metal
dinosaur thing,
the mech was very reminiscent of Jedi Fallen Order.
I didn't. I played like the first 2 levels.
Well, the shape of the mech is very similar to I forget. I didn't write down the name because I was on my phone and I didn't have any paper on me. But one of the levels, I guess they come across an ancient species. They're very tall and they have very long limbs, and their head shape is kind of the same, pretty similar to what that machine was. And they also have the same power of they do it with their hands, but that plasma burst that comes out, that's very reminiscent of the same thing. So people were kind of wondering, is this going to be related somehow to what's his name? Cal Kestis?
Yep.
If it's related to the game somehow, is it going to come back around? And
they kept saying that it was It's old. It's old. I kept waiting for him to throw something in as it's the High Republic, like trying to tie the High Republic in.
Well, I think they were saying that was even older than that.
Williams.
Yeah.
On.
Yeah, the High Republic period is like 300 years or so before
Skywalker.
and supposedly this whatever mech or Heart of the Mountain or Arkenstone, whatever it is,
It's like 1,000 years.
According to our boy Tick, it's at least 1,000 years old. So
Tick. See, Omega got on my nerves in this one too, because she was just that whole I'm excited bouncing around. Oh, let's just go off haphazard and do something. I'm like,
yeah, she was doing that thing again where she repeats what people are doing and saying.
yeah.
And it was cute at first, back in season 1, but now it just feels kind of like, I don't know, kind of tired.
How old is she supposed to be? Is she still in her preteens or
My
younger?
guess would be maybe 12.
12?
I would have put her at 12 or 13 myself, maybe, and probably
I don't remember being that giddy when I was 12.
Probably like 9 or 10 years old in the first season, and then I'm gonna call 2 or 3 years passing between seasons. So she's grown up a little bit, but not
Enough.
Not enough. She hasn't reached an Ahsoka level of maturity.
Oh boy. Now see that right there. That's all we need. Next season, her hair is going to grow out even longer, and Hunter's going to come up to her and say, "Your hair could use some snips."
Looks like William started watching my Andor Watch Fest tonight.
Giving it another try, William.
That's a long watch fest because each one of those episodes was close to
an hour. Yeah.
And that's 12 episodes at least. Whew.
I thought about doing a rewatch of Mando before.
Oh, I already have.
Well, I haven't.
No, let me take that back. I started it. No, I did finish it the other day. I finished it the other day. Yeah, season 2. It's awesome. Except for Luke. I mean, Luke was awesome, but that CGI Luke looked like something off of a PlayStation 2 video game.
That's why they didn't have him move his face very much.
I guess not. So, anyway,
yeah. Unfortunately, there's not really much to unwrap with this episode.
No, there's really not. The whole episode really even played like a video game. I mean,
you get to your quest area, you solve a puzzle to get in, you fight some monsters, and then you fight the boss at the end.
But I mean, even still, it was almost like Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. And when I say that, I mean
no.
Well, with Indiana Jones and they went to go find things. And it was like, oh well, we need to go look for this thing. Now in the other movies, it was a big chore to go look for we got to go find the little golden idol, but we got to go through all the little traps and everything. With the Crystal Skull, it was almost like, well, we've got to go to Peru and look through these caves. Oh, look, it's right there on the ground. Let's just take it. I mean, there was nothing to it. It was like, there's no traps. There's no nothing. You had the one little kid that was jumping around shooting darts at him. And that was about it. And it was like, you're really taken from Indiana Jones. And this was kind of the same thing, to where it was almost like, oh, we can figure this out and it'll take us like 2 seconds. And I know you got to cram it into a 30-minute episode. Well, 24 minutes, because an average 30-minute TV show is actually 24 minutes. And 6 minutes of that is commercials. So I don't know. It was just it it was almost like looking at it, I could say, okay, here's the next level of the video game. Here's what you have to do in the next level.
Yeah.
I think I was trying to remember what movie I was watching the other day that it was like, oh, here's the next level of the video game. I'm just like, they made this movie to make a video game. That's exactly what they did.
When I'm watching these episodes, I mean, you guys know that my main complaint with season 1 was that none of the characters got an arc. So as I'm watching these episodes, I'm watching them like a hawk, trying to figure out what happens in these episodes that's going to create any lasting experience for them. And yeah, it's all just adventure of the day. I mean, the character Fee, played by Wanda Sykes. I mean, she's endlessly lovable. I love Wanda Sykes. And the character has a decent amount of charisma, but like, who is she? I mean, we didn't really get an introduction to her other than overhearing her talking to Sid. And I'm not asking for every detail of a character to be laid out on a silver platter for me, right off the bat. But I mean, nothing. Well, we've seen her for 2 episodes now, and still nothing about her is interesting. Besides, she over embellishes all her stories.
But she doesn't.
And she's voiced by Wanda Sykes.
Yeah, exactly. She tells all these grand stories. I mean, she's basically just Wanda Sykes, Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I guess she did warn the boys against Sid. That
Sid's gonna betray you at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I'm sorry to interrupt. I got to hop off for just 1 minute.
Okay.
I just got to bring a couple of boxes in my car. I'm still in the process of moving. So
okay.
Let me get off for like 2 minutes. I'll be right back on.
Cool. Kind of like, I will have to take your word for that. I watched Dragon Ball Z and I love Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Super kind of lost me. I'll take your word for it.
I didn't watch that. That was my youngest son's biggest Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, I love Dragon Ball Z.
I had to sit to 2 or 3 movies. Take him to the theater so he could see Dragon Ball Z.
Anyway,
oh, wait, maybe that was Pokemon. I don't remember. It was one of those things.
One of those crummy things.
They're all the same to me.
And somewhere out there's a Pokemon enthusiast or Dragon Ball Z enthusiast going, "No, Debbie, how dare you!"
Sorry. Yeah, he collected. I think we still got him. I got him in a binder thing where you can, with the sheets that you can stick individual cards. I think we've got all the sets.
See, sell them. Those things, I mean, even though they're old and you can't use them anymore because, they come out with new cards and new rules, and it's like, oh, you can't use these sets of cards anymore. Man, collectors, Luke had some. He had like 2 or 3 binders worth and a small box. And he put them on a garage sale table for like $10 for the set. And he was just like, I just want, $10 to $12 just so I can get something else. And we set it out on the garage sale. We had 3 or 4 people fighting over who got there first so that they could have the cards. I was like, "Are you serious?" Luke said, I should have asked for more money. I probably would have got it. And I was like, "Yeah, you probably should have."
Yeah, I got a couple binders of sports cards too. I used to collect back in the day. I got about 2 or 3 binders just full of sports cards.
So, anyway, speaking of, let's go back to the Bad Batch because they're there, and we're supposed to be talking about them. Yeah, I mean, something else that I think is missing out of this season is there's no real threat at this point. I mean, there's nothing has shown itself. With the first season, you knew that Crosshair was a threat, and it kept going back and forth between them and what he was doing with the Empire, and how he is conforming to the Empire while the others are not conforming to the Empire, things like that. And with this season so far, I mean, we had the one episode with Crosshair, and we know he's still there, but there's just no. It's not like they're, oh my gosh, we got to duck the Empire. It's more like we got to go on another.
Yeah, I keep thinking
wacky
that
adventure.
at some point the Empire is going to realize that they are still alive, because I think at this point they think they're dead. I mean, Crosshair. I'm trying to think if Crosshair knows or not.
He does. He's the one that
He
turned
does.
him loose at the end of season 1.
Okay, I couldn't
So he's
remember,
aware.
but eventually I think they're going to be found out. Well, you would think, just to bring that level of threat up in the show. And I think at some point that'll be when Crosshairs is going to have to make, a big decision. Do I stay loyal to my brothers, or do I stay loyal to the Empire? And screw being,
and
good
honestly,
good soldiers follow orders, throw that out the window.
And based on what happened, not last episode, but the episode before that, the Crosshair episode, where he was basically being shunned by even the clones. He was being shunned by the stormtroopers and the clones that were still around. He may be rethinking things himself.
Yeah, he's gonna have his redemption arc of Clone Force 99 were the only ones that never shunned me.
Yeah. We were actually talking about how there's really, so far this season, there's no like lingering threat. Nothing is there lurking in the shadows, getting ready to either overtake them or add to the story. Basically, instead you're getting, like you said, an adventure of the week kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, we have that one Imperial officer who shot the clone and spoke to Crosshair at the end of Crosshair's episode. But again, I mean, he's not a villain that we know anything about. I mean, do we even know his name?
Rampart.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I forgot. That shows you how much I care about him so far. But I mean, I got like, what's he gonna do to our heroes? What has he done to our heroes so far? Nothing. We're 5 episodes in, and we don't have a main villain yet.
No, exactly. You're spot on. And
well, I think the episode that he killed the one clone, because that Wilco, I was trying to think what his name was. He told Rampart that, the Force 99 is still alive, and he's like, yeah, we're not putting that on the report because they died on Camino. So he knows, but it would probably look bad on his service record if they managed to escape and whatever. But I was kind of hoping the Bad Batch would be more involved with like sabotaging the Empire at any chance they could.
Seeing them basically kind of help start the rebellion, if you will.
Or at least start that cell of the rebellion. Or whatever sector they're in.
Yeah.
New Hope.
What Star Wars show or movie made you a Star Wars fan? A New Hope.
Well, back then it wasn't called New Hope when I was around.
Yeah, it was just called Star Wars.
I'm that old.
Well, you guys already know that my introduction to Star Wars back when I was 5 years old in 1997 was Return of the Jedi. So
5 years old,
yeah,
1997.
you're just a puppy.
So did you go see? Was it the special edition?
I think it was. Yeah, I didn't get to see the original Cantina concert scene.
Oh.
or not Cantina, but
Jabba's
Palace.
Yeah.
But yeah,
mine was A New Hope. We had in fact, the little girl that lived down the street from. I lived in a little tiny town called Crandall, Texas. Crandall, and it was population like 1,600. So it was like a tiny, tiny town, right? And the girl that lived like 2 or 3 houses down from us owned a VCR, and that was a huge, huge deal to own a VCR because nobody. I mean, you're talking early 80s, right? Nobody had a VCR. If you had one, that you were like, oh, you're rich because you've got a VCR. Ooh.
We weren't rich, but we had one.
But
and we when Star Wars finally came out on HBO, we recorded it.
They bought a copy of it. They had a purchased copy. I was like, and that was like the only movie that they owned was Star Wars.
Yeah, we didn't have a purchased copy, but we just recorded it off of HBO and then just watched it till the tape
wore out. See, I got you beat because when I finally got a VCR and I was able to record it, I had to record it off of network TV. So it came on like ABC or NBC, one of those. But this was probably 1985 or 1986 maybe. And so for a long time, that was the only copy I had, was one that I had recorded off TV, commercials and all. I had all the classic commercials on there. Loved it. It was great. And then I got, like, in 1989, 88 or 89, I got the box set with all 3 of the movies. So.
Nice.
Yes, very cool. And now I'm old too.
Yeah, I was feeling it today after shoveling the driveway yesterday. Thinking about starting a GoFundMe page to get me a snowblower.
Nice. Only the rich people have snowblowers. So Debbie's
yeah, they're
rich
expensive. They're
she
like
had a VCR and a snowblower.
yeah.
Oh, I'll be sure to scroll past your GoFundMe page and maybe think about sharing it later.
He says, I bet that box set was sweet. You're darn right it was, and in fact, I still got it. I'll bring it on the show one of these days.
I think I still have mine. I'm not sure. And I'm not sure which one it is. I don't know if it's the original set or if it's the freaking special editions. I used to have all of them. And I have a humongous box in my front room behind the couch that has all my DVDs in it. I just don't have anywhere to put them.
Here's how bad I am. I own my box set from 1989 or whatever. I own a boxed set that was the THX remastered editions that came out in 1996, I want to say, 95, 96, somewhere in there. I have the widescreen edition of the THX remastered versions. I have a full and widescreen edition of the special editions on VHS. I have a widescreen edition of the special editions on DVD with a special bonus features disc. I've got all 3 of the original movies on Laserdisc. I've got episode 1 on VHS, a special edition. And I've got, I don't have episode 2, which I think was the last one that they actually put on VHS. But then, of course, I've got everything in DVD and everything in Blu-ray as well. So the only format I'm missing, and my brother has said he's going to find this for me and get it for me one day, is the Betamax copies of the movies.
I think I had the VHS.
Why do I need the Betamax? Because why not?
You won't be able to play them unless you have a beta machine. They don't make those anymore unless you can find an old one at a thrift shop or a pawn shop.
Good luck with that, even, because Cam, if you don't know, Betamax was like So VHS,
We're really showing our age.
yeah. So VHS and Betamax came out about the same time. It was like Blu-ray and HD DVD, and one of them was bound to take over the other one, and the other one would just kind of fall to the wayside. And Betamax was the one that fell by the wayside. It was around for a couple of years, and then it just kind of died because everybody was buying VHS.
Mm-hmm.
So, Betamax. There you go. That is me with anime. I got a bunch of anime box sets.
Yeah, well, I just have everything on DVD, not DVD, Blu-ray. You know, I think I used to have the Star Wars original trilogy on VHS. Couldn't tell you what the hell happened to them though. I mean, this is going back to when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
I probably didn't understand the value and gave them to somebody or something.
Loaned them to somebody, never got them back.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So,
I mean, a few years back, I loaned a friend of mine Iron Man 2 on Blu-ray, and I just realized like a few months ago that I never got it back, and I'm like, oh, that's okay. It's Iron Man 2.
Iron Man.
But it's Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell. He's going to be important in Armor Wars coming up, I'm sure.
Oh, we can only hope.
It's also Iron Man 2, so.
Okay, fine. Anyway, did you guys? Oh, we got another one. William, I'm gonna say emphatically, my father was not an in the closet Star Wars lover. My father was a lover of all things Star Wars. He's not as big a fanatic as I am, but he did see the movie. He did see Star Wars in the theater like umpteen gazillion times. He went a lot, and so when I was a kid, that was an excuse for him to buy the toys. Was, oh, I'm not buying this for me. I'm buying it for my kids. Yeah, see, I've got all this. So
There you go.
I had a huge collection of the original vintage stuff. I had 2 or 3 AT-ATs. I had Dagobah. I had the Star Destroyer playset. I had the Death Star playset. I had almost all of the figures. I had 10 or 15 stormtroopers. I had legions of stormtroopers. You know, if there was more than one in the movie, then I could have more than one. But if I ever ended up with like 2 or 3 Greedos, it's like, okay, we got to get rid of these Greedos because there was only one Greedo in the movie, right? You know, one Han Solo, right?
Right.
So, but eventually it gave way to. I wish you could see my Lego room. I used to have a whole shelf dedicated strictly to the old toys, but I needed room for my Lego. So they got packed up and put in a box and tossed in a closet. And one day, probably about a year ago, I was like, you know what? These are not doing me any good. They're not doing anybody any good. I'm going to sell them to a collector who's going to like them and play with them. And I sold my entire collection, all my old stuff, everything.
Wow.
Had a shuttle, the Lambda class shuttle, the shuttle Tidarium. Man, I had a bunch of stuff. But it's in the past. I regret nothing.
I didn't collect the toys. My kids, well, the boys, they have figurines and whatnot. My oldest one, he has a bookshelf that's just filled with the figurines, Star Wars figurines. And
are these the original ones, or are these like the mid-90s re-releases?
Probably re-releases because he was born in 87, so but
he was born in the dark times.
Yeah.
He didn't get the Luke Skywalker figure that looks like a Ken doll.
Now the when the movies first came out, they didn't have toys for Christmas. So I did get, my brother Dave got me the movie soundtrack vinyl, which I still have.
I still have my vinyl. In fact, I've been looking for, because I own the vinyl soundtrack for Star Wars and I own the vinyl for Empire, but I don't own Jedi. I need the vinyl for Jedi.
Oh my God!
Yeah, and I do have
horrible person.
Like lithographs. That one with Vader coming out of the fire. That's David somebody, Dorman. And then, of course, I got the movie poster. But out in the front room, I have 6 lithograms that are done by the Hildebrand brothers.
Oh, nice. That poster back there, I've got that poster. It's hanging up over there. And then next to it, I've got the Phantom Menace poster. And then behind me on the wall back there, other way, not those ones. This one. That is the it's a Yoda poster, but it's a photo mosaic poster. So all the different, it's got all the different. If you go look at it, it's like bunches of little pictures from Star Wars and things like that. And then of course my Lego one, not Lego. This was Last Jedi and Force Unleashed or Force Awakens from that was Force Friday in 2015 and 2017 when they did the big Star Wars release. I was first in line at Toys R Us both of those years.
Hey, there you go.
So I was all kinds of excited. Force Friday, great.
Yeah, we had all the video games. I'm trying to think. I think it was Nintendo 64. It had the pod racing game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had that.
And Shadows of the Empire. Shadows of the Empire was on the 64.
Yes, we had that, and then I had to pay out the butt. I can't remember where I got it from. Probably China. I had to order it from China because it was the only place you could find it. Was the Heir of the Empire soundtrack.
Oh yes.
My oldest son wanted that so bad, and you couldn't find it around here, so I had to pay an arm and a leg to get it from wherever, China, Korea. I don't know where it was, but it was expensive, and he still has it. Thank God he still has it.
Cam.
Oh well. I guess we are talking about Star Wars merch, aren't we? I guess I should pipe in.
Well, so hey, the Bad Batch is done. That was my filler episode. Woo!
Yeah. So I didn't really start collecting Star Wars merchandise until I think just before the release of The Force Awakens. I mean, I had the movies on DVD at the time, and I had The Force Unleashed. I had the Ultimate Sith Edition because that was the best way to play the game.
Of course.
And I had maybe a couple of other knickknacks here and there, but as far as actual merchandise, the first piece of merch that I ever got was this semi-articulate Kylo Ren figure, because I was so excited for The Force Awakens. I was like, oh my god, this guy looks so cool. I want to know everything about him, and yeah, that's how that went.
Was this the one that it's about 2 feet tall?
No,
and he says phrases from the movies.
No, it's not 2 feet tall. I'd say it's probably about 10 inches tall, and you can move his arms up and down. You can move his legs back and forth, and he comes with a lightsaber. But it wasn't anything fancy. I think it cost me like $15, but it was the first piece of legitimate Star Wars merch I ever owned, and I still have it. It's very special to me.
First piece of Star Wars merch. Mine's either gonna be I had a TIE Fighter and a Luke Skywalker. So
yeah,
I was able to put Luke Skywalker in the TIE Fighter, and fly it around. Maybe I do know my brother and I both had some Star Wars underoos. The underwear that's fun to wear. And I had Han Solo and he had Wicket. And I've still got a pair of Star Wars underoos to this day that I still wear at bedtime sometimes. It's R2-D2.
Nice. I have one pair of Star Wars underwear, and it's Valentine's Day Chewbacca underwear.
Cam, I don't know what you're doing, but
what?
It sounds
Can
like
you hear me?
trudging barely. It sounds like you're trudging through snow.
Oh well, I'm walking around outside right now. What I'm having to do, since we're in the process of moving, and my wife is pregnant, so she can't really do much right now, is we have all of the big pieces of furniture moved over to the new house right now, but we still have all the little knickknacks and crap that still in the house. So what I'm doing is I'm bringing boxes over to pack up. I'm taking them back. I'm unpacking them. I'm bringing them back the next day, packing them up again. It's a process.
Gotcha. Wait a minute. Did you ever see the movie Trains and Automobiles?
Oh, a long time ago.
Where that one
Candy,
scene
right?
where John Candy and Steve Martin.
Yes.
And that one guy came and picked him up to haul him to the train. And he yells at his wife, "Get your lazy behind out here!" No, we got. Oh, she's small, but she's scrawny. Her first baby come out sideways. She didn't holler or nothing. Tell your wife, "Get your lazy behind out here."
Oh my God. I feel like she'd have a hell of a talk with me about that.
Yeah. Cam would show up next week with a black eye.
Yeah, exactly. Well, better than a brown eye, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, so we talked first. What's your favorite piece of Star Wars merchandise? Your favorite collectible. What is the thing you are most proud of? Like, somebody comes to your house and they say, "Oh, you're a Star Wars fan." You say, "Look at this." What is your favorite piece?
Okay, so I probably have a few. Okay, yeah, I have a few. So the first one is prior to the release of The Last Jedi, Disney World had an event called Star Wars Galactic Night, or Galactic Nights. I don't remember if it was plural, but it was a huge Star Wars celebration at Disney World, and I'd never been to an event like that before. I was so excited, and I went there with a couple of friends. My wife and I had just started dating at that point. We were together for like a week, and I was like, "Okay, I'm going. You can't stop me. I'm sorry." But I went there and I got a commemorative Last Jedi poster that I still have. Love that thing. I'm like, you can't find this poster anywhere. It was just at that event.
Wow.
Let's see. Another one would be the first Comic-Con that I went to with my wife. It was Tampa Bay Comic-Con, and I was walking around all the stands, and I came across this book stand, and this stand had the novelization of The Last Jedi on it, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll buy it. Why not? I enjoy the Star Wars novelizations. And the guy behind the stand was like, "Oh, hey, you want me to sign that?" I was like, "Who are you?" And he points to his name tag and it says Jason Fry, and he was the author. He was the author of the book. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." But yeah, he signed that book for me.
Nice.
And man, I have a lot of Star Wars merch, but those are two things that if I ever were to wake up one morning and they were gone, I would be just unbelievably devastated because I will never have. It's not the items themselves that are valuable; it's the experience that came with
it's
those
the story
items
behind the items.
Yes,
Exactly.
What about you, Debbie?
Well, it'd have to be my lithograms because I mean that's the first thing you see when you walk into my front room. They're like, "Oh, obviously you're a Star Wars." And then they walk into my bedroom, and it's like, "Oh, you're a Star Wars,
You
and
have
you're a
people
Marvel
parading
fan."
through your bedroom then, okay.
And my vinyl. I think if I ever lost my vinyl, I would probably be devastated because that was given to me by my brother who's no longer with us. And yeah, I would be heartbroken. I also have a couple of books that are signed by either the author or the artist who did the cover. I have, I'm thinking it's a Attack of the Clones graphic novel
Nice.
because I got it at Celebration when it was down in Indy. And I believe it was by the artist of the graphic novel. I have it tucked away in one of my drawers, but and my t-shirts, I've got slews and tons of t-shirts that, are from the 80s and 90s.
I still have. We went to Disney Disney World in 2005, and I've got a Boba Fett shirt that I bought at Disney in 2005 that I still wear
Nice.
from time to time. But it's still it's one of my older shirts. But for me, I'd have to say it's probably this thing right here. This AT-AT back here is the Ultimate Collector Series. That's Lego. That's all Lego. It's built to scale for the figures.
Awesome.
So like the little minifigures that are right here, it's to scale, and it's amazing. I've been waiting for Lego to make one for a long time. It was $800.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, biggest, most expensive Lego set I've ever bought. I don't think I've ever dropped that much money in Lego before. But that's my pride and joy because that's my favorite vehicle in Star Wars, Starship or anything. It's always the AT-AT. I also own a book that was given out at Celebration 2. And I've showed Debbie this book before. Cam, you may have seen it as well. But I've got a book that was given out at Celebration 2. There was 500 copies of this book. It was the Attack of the Clones. It had a different cover to it. And in fact, it had a sleeve cover to it. So you could pull the book out of the sleeve and then look at it. But it was autographed by R.A. Salvatore. So I own one of these 500 books. I don't know which number it is exactly, but like I said, I've never even seen one for sale anywhere, ever. And I happen to get mine in a grab bag from Goodwill for $10.
Yeah, my lithograms are signed. All of them are signed by the Hildebrandt brothers, and they are limited editions.
Yeah.
So they are very near and dear to my heart.
And at Star Wars Fan Days in 2011, Timothy Zahn was there. So my Heir to the Empire trilogy, and there was another book he had just written that was out called Allegiance. I got all my books signed by Timothy Zahn because he's the man. If there was ever somebody that did anything, Dave Filoni has done huge things for Star Wars. Jon Favreau has done huge things for Star Wars. I'd put Timothy Zahn right up there with him because he really brought everything back from, back in the dark times, before the Empire.
Yeah, because there was a few books that came out, but it wasn't until his books came out that, the shit hit the fan.
Yeah, his books came out, and then all of a sudden, like the next year or two, there was like a book or two a month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I had a hard time keeping up for a while.
Oh, I gave up when the Yuzong
the Vong. Yeah,
the Vong
I know who you're
War
talking about.
started. I couldn't. I lost it. I was like, I'm done. I can't keep up with it. It's
Yeah, I finally finished that 19 book series the other day, or not. No, it was a couple months ago. I'm on oh shoot, I can't remember what the series is, but it's the one where Jason eventually.
Oh, that's the. Is that the New Jedi Order? Is that what they call that?
New Jedi or Fate of the Jedi or something like
Fate,
that.
yeah, maybe the Fate of the Jedi.
I think I'm on the third or fourth book, Betrayal.
Oh.
Lumina or Lumineer or whatever her name is. She comes back and basically
wreaks havoc.
Yeah. So yeah, I think in this series, I could be wrong. I've read these books before, but it's been so long. But I think this is where he turns, and
we're gonna have to do a show about the books one of these days.
I wish my memory was better.
We lost Cam. Cam jumped out again. Are we at an hour? Is that what his thing was?
Pretty close. We're at 51.
We're at 51 minutes. Okay. Oh, there he is. Hang on a minute. He's coming.
Oh. Sorry, I'm not quite sure what happened. Your audio kept on jumping in and out, and then I was talking, and I wasn't sure if you guys were hearing me, so I was looking at my phone, and it was like completely frozen.
Didn't hear anything.
Yeah, Debbie, you're talking about the Legacy of the Force series.
Legacy.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, where Jason Solo becomes Darth Kaitis.
Yeah.
Darth who?
Darth Kaitis.
Kaitis.
Or I've heard it pronounced both ways.
Is it Kaitis?
Kaitis. I mean, it's
okay.
However you prefer to pronounce it.
Okay, because I was like, oh, I must be not thinking of the right. Of course, me with my senior brain, when I see it in the book, I can pronounce it in my head, but when it tries to come out my mouth, it's not good. It doesn't translate well to my mouth.
I remember the first Star Wars book that I ever really sat down to read was Maul Shadowhunter.
Yes,
that's a good one.
Yeah.
And Debbie, that's the one that I was telling you about a few months back. They released an updated version of it on Audible. And it's narrated by Sam Witwer. So
I watched a podcast today at work because it was kind of slow and I was doing paperwork. So I thought I'm going to find a podcast to watch. And it was, they were interviewing Sam Witwer. And I just sat there and drooled.
I got to see him live, front row, center, no big deal.
Yeah, and his butt crack. That was great.
Crack. That was
great.
He had plumber crack. Yes.
Yeah, there was a girl in that podcast, and I was like, how are you sitting there so calmly and you're staring into Sam Witwer's face?
I ought to, Dave Pavilion, I know you watch these. We want Sam Witwer. We want a special guest, Sam Witwer, on our show.
Sitting there staring at the crack of Crimson Dawn.
We will love to have him on the show. We can sit and talk to him.
I wouldn't be able to talk. I'd just be all.
Debbie would be starstruck.
Yes. And she'd be sitting there trying to ask him questions. It's like, all right, so Sam, what got you into marry me? Voice acting.
Oh. Yeah, there would be several actors I would be very starstruck and terrified, and I probably wouldn't be able to look at him in the face. So.
And nobody would blame you.
That's right.
Except for us.
No,
you guys would ridicule me.
We would laugh at you. That's all.
Oh, yes, you would. I would never hear the end of it. You had your chance to talk to Sam and you didn't do it. Dumbass.
You maniacs! You blew it up!
Okay. Shameless plugs. Debbie, what you got?
I have no clue.
Oh.
I assume we're doing an MCU Monday, but I haven't heard on what. Because we had discussed maybe not doing Marvel because there's nothing until February. We thought about talking about something else. I don't know, maybe Lord of the Rings or something off subject than Marvel. So I haven't heard if we're doing that or not. I hope it's soon that we hear something so I can watch it.
Chris, when you watch, we need to know. Chris watches these too, I think. Okay. Cam, shameless plugs.
Cam and Focus comes out on the 31st. I'll be covering the show Tekken Bloodline on Netflix. If you're a fan of Tekken, definitely check out the video. And also on February 19th, it's kind of a tentative date right now because he and I are kind of working it out. I have an interview coming up with best-selling author Jonathan Mayberry. Yes, that's going to be on Sunday. We're coordinating the time right now. He and I are kind of talking about 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And if you don't know who Jonathan Mayberry is, he's a New York Times bestselling author. He's won the Bram Stoker Award 5 times. He also has a show on Netflix. I've been following his work for years. He's one of my all-time favorite writers. I cannot wait to talk to him. I was absolutely ecstatic whenever I reached out to him and he responded with, "Oh yeah, that sounds great. Here's my email."
Nice.
What show does he have on Netflix?
I'll be honest, I don't know yet. I haven't researched that yet. But he sent me an email full of his credentials. And under and like right in the middle of the paragraph, it said a show on Netflix. Let me see if I can find it here.
Maybe it's not out yet.
Yeah, or maybe it's some other show he's just kind of like a special guest on kind of thing. Like
V Wars. That's what it is.
V Wars.
Never
V Wars. I believe he was a writer on that show. Let me see here. Pull up my handy dandy IMDb.
This is like the show from the 70s and 80s.
That was just V.
2019. It says 2019.
I wonder if it's a continuation of maybe.
Yep. Oh no. So the show is based on his book V Wars.
Oh. So he's had okay. Well, I'll have to check that one out. I was looking for a new show today. I'm glad you brought that up. I can watch me a new show now.
There you go.
I finished binge watching my last one, and I needed something new. Awesome. I found me in something new then. Okay. Thursday nights, Cantina Happy Hour. Don't forget about us. On March the 1st. On March the 1st, we are going to be kind of doing a double show. We'll be talking about the Bad Batch for part of the show, but then we talk about Mando Season 3. Actually, it's March the 2nd will be our show. But March the 1st is when Mando Season 3 starts. So we will have Mando Season 3 going on. We will have Bad Batch going on. And I think Bad Batch goes on for like 6 weeks into Mando. So
they're going to release both shows on the same day?
I
that
guess.
Is weird.
Isn't that weird? But yes.
Whoa, double trouble.
But that's okay. We love Mando, and
we kind of like
Bad
Batch.
The rest of Bad Batch plays out, we may be looking forward more to Mando than we do to Bad Batch. But I wanted to say this right here on the Geek News Now Cantina Happy Hour. When Mando starts, we are going to have another giveaway. I've got another huge box of Mandalorian stuff.
Ooh.
Not a huge box. It's a tiny box, but it is a box full of Mandalorian stuff. And I'm going to give it away here. We're going to do just like we did with the lithograph that came from Jamie Coker, artist. He did a big thing for me, and it was great. He signed it and everything. It was really cool. We gave it away here on the show several months ago. We're doing a Mando giveaway coming up in when Mandalorian starts. And then I still have Lego sets I need to build live. I've got a bunch of them now. So I actually bought me another one the other day, and I don't even know what I did with it. So
Oh, by
go
the
ahead.
way, so sorry, David. I'm so sorry to interrupt. I do have
No, go ahead.
one more short shameless plug. So the wonderful fellows of Geek News Now, aka David Vermillion, know you're watching. Thank you very much. Managed to secure me a press pass for Clarksville Comic Con.
Nice.
And that's going to be on, I believe it's March 18th or 19th. It's one of those days. It's just one day. It's in Clarksville, so it's kind of a smaller event, but I'll be there. If anybody's in Clarksville or around the area, come out and see me. I'll be interviewing a whole bunch of local talent out there, so it'll be a good time.
Any big names going to be out there?
Yes, actually. So if you're a Dragon Ball fan, the original voice actor for Frieza from the original Dragon Ball Z series, Linda Young, is going to be there.
Wow. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say I have a Frieza Pop Funko that I ordered that's on the way right now that I'm going to have her sign. So, hoorah.
Nice. I met the guy once that did the voice of Master Roshi.
Hey, nice.
And I got him to sign something. My brother's a big Dragon Ball fan, and his birthday was coming up, so I was like, "Oh, hey, birthday present! Hey, look what I got you!
Hey,
Master
nice.
Roshi's autograph." So, anyway, all right. Well, that'll be it for us tonight then. We welcome back. You're always welcome to come join us every Thursday night. We're always here talking about Star Wars, talking about whatever's happening within the Star Wars universe. Sometimes we get sidetracked and talk about our collectibles and our love of the Star Wars, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. So, anyway, we will see you all next Thursday night. And may the Force be with you